I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
This that shit they didn't want me on. I'm about to act a badonka-donk, Shimon. Don't need sugar, I need cream. I'm dark and strong. The garbage man putting on cologne, aroma.
Welcome to another episode of Life as It Happens. It's your boy, the Wolf of LA, aka the valedictorian of the people, aka the face of LA. Ain't nothing pretty. You know how it goes. And right now we're going to step in with our special guest, with my special guest. My co-host is a little under the weather, so I had to, bring out another one of my aces from Northern California to join me. And there she is. Hello?
Hello?
What up, Guns?
What's up?
Alright. I'm recording already, by the way.
Huh?
I'm recording already.
Okay.
You're like, oh, shit. So how you been?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. We're trying this thing with the phone because, we're not there yet to have FaceTime and all these fancy gadgets and stuff. We'll get there one day. We'll get there one day.
One of these days.
Yep. So I was telling the people that you are a returning guest, but not really. Because technically the episode we recorded before never got out due to technical difficulties and whatnot, and things changed.
Yes.
A lot of things changed since we did that episode. And so, yes. I in good conscience, I couldn't put it out. Because, it would just be inaccurate. So I'd rather just have you back on the show to talk about all the stuff that you are doing currently. And, just leave fuck people out of it.
Yep.
So what's good?
Just work. Cosplay. So. Make. Usual.
I know, right? Oh, congratulations. Since we last did the episode, you won, I don't think you had won the award yet. You won the prize for the Athena cosplay costume, right?
Yes.
You can say you towered over your competition.
Yes, literally.
Oh, that picture you posted on Instagram was hilarious.
Which one?
Exactly. The one with the two girls that were dressed as Athena as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then they just kind of look like, okay, we can't beat her, so we're going to smile at her, and we're going to be good. They didn't expect you to be that tall and muscular.
No, not at all. No, it's really funny, actually. I experienced a lot of shade from those girls. Usually I'm really nice to everybody at conventions, I try to be nice to everybody, talk to everybody, because we're all there for the same reason, We all have a mutual love, so why not, talk about it and celebrate it differently. But yeah, those girls were mean, especially the girl on the furthest left. She was just throwing all kinds of shade at me, because she was Athena too, and I was like, okay.
Well, you know me, I'm gonna change my nickname to Petty Wop, because I'm petty as hell when it comes to people throwing shade, and if I didn't start it, but I'll damn sure finish it. So yeah.
Me too. I admit that, but since my page is kind of dedicated to cosplay, I kind of just keep that line. I don't cross that line,
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people don't. I don't get it. You're a special kind of breed that you don't really see that often, where you're a mixture of good looks and being a smartass. The only time I've ever seen that combination is with Ryan Reynolds, where he's a pretty motherfucker. He's a pretty motherfucker, and he's the smartass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people expect you to be dumb and not have your own opinion, and then when you do, people get bothered by it. I've seen people like leave all these comments on your Instagram, like kind of like bothered, like why do you have an opinion? Like just be there and look pretty, because you're ruining it with actually having your own thoughts, and it's like wow.
Oh yeah, all the time. Pretty much, almost that exactly. I get comments all the time whenever I post something or an opinion, you know, and in a smart-ass manner like I usually do. And they go, isn't this a cosplay page? Why don't you just stick to posting up selfies? I'm like, well, first of all, it's my fucking page, so you can just leave if you don't like. You know, there's this green box right underneath my name that says follow. You can just hit that or not. It's up to you.
Right? It's like, I see like a couple of people that throw shade and they talk shit, but they don't unfollow you. It's like, you know that there's a ridiculous amount of other pages you can go to, you know, to throw shade at, or things that you enjoy. And why the hell are you on this page? It's like, there's this thing where I understand voicing your opinion, because everybody has a right to voice their opinion, whether it's you agree with it or not. Everyone can say what they want to, but to get to a point where it bothers you and you have to like, no, it's like you have to conform to whatever it is that I think. I don't understand that. It's like, okay, like
I really don't get that either. I am all for voicing your opinion, no matter what. I welcome haters, lovers. I welcome all of it. Just be able to hold your ground, you know? Hold your own. Don't bring anybody else into it. It's just me and you, talking as me and you. Whatever the case may be, whether it's positive or negative. You know, it's just me versus you. It's not me versus you, and I'm going to involve, like, your brother, sister, mother, uncle. I never do that. But most people, I find when I outdo them, they try to bring my family into it, you know, like my brothers and things like that. So I'm just like, really? Like, you don't even know my family, and I don't even know your family. You know, I know you. I'm talking to you. It's just kind of funny how, like, low a person will stoop. They just stoop so low to try to win something online, when really I'm just sitting there like, man, I was just fucking joking the whole entire time, but I see you took it to soul, and now you're going to have a bad day.
These people, they really have, like, your Instagram is you know, it's popular. It's gotten popular since the first time I ran into it, and you got a lot more followers. You became more active, but a lot of people don't get you have a life outside of Instagram, and all these people. It's like, I've been wrong before, like, and yeah, I know, like, 3 of my ex-girlfriends are like, he admitted he was wrong, but I've actually not necessarily lost an argument, but I think a while back I posted something up that I saw, and I had an opinion about it, and someone said, be careful, because when you can't tell between just publicity stunt and the truth is when you start losing credibility. And so I went and I researched what I had talked about, and then it turns out that I was completely wrong about it. So I went back online, and I was like, you know what? This person checked me, and they reminded me that, yeah, you know, I actually like to have some kind of sense or some kind of facts behind my opinion to be able to defend my opinion. And so I told him, I told this person that you know, called me out on it. I told him, I'm like, hey, good looking out. Good, you know, you kept me on point. There's all these people that are like, they want to win an Instagram argument like it really means something. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean. As a matter of fact, you know, a lot of people, you know, think I hate my haters. I don't. They keep me on point, because, you know, I find new lows that they stoop to, or, you know, I figure out new methods of defending myself, but in a way defending myself. And a lot of cosplayers, believe it or not, like, you know, we get called names, especially the girls who wear some of the more revealing things, you know, slut, whore, this, that, all the other things, and they don't know them. You know, a lot of people think, Instagram and cosplay is our life, and we don't have careers, and we don't make money, and we just rely on social media for money. I mean, I've heard it all. I've heard, bitch, why don't you get a career and stop wasting your time online? Get a job, or Instagram pays you so much, huh? Blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, these people don't get it. They think this is it for me, and so it's my source of entertainment, and I make it very known that it's just my source of entertainment, and it's the internet. There shouldn't be any right or wrong online, because if you don't like it, don't look, don't follow. There shouldn't be censorship. I shouldn't have to change the way I am because you can't handle me. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, I get it. It's like, just because you don't understand how air is made doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Correct.
Like that dumb shit that got posted on B.O.B. Like, oh man, that took a hit.
Oh
But
my God.
I almost like deleted his music from my playlist, but I was like, you know what? I learned to separate the artist from the actual person. Like, there's some people that make good music, but they're fucking assholes. And it's like, okay, as a musician, I respect them. As everything else is like, they have the right to do whatever, you know. I obviously have more respect for the people who use their celebrities for something better than just, promoting a clothing line that looks like some shit some homeless people on Skid Row have on. But there's other people that, have celebrities and they use it for fundraisers for different stuff, and it's fine. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want with their life. But I didn't get that one. The guy was like, oh, the earth is flat.
Like, a lot of people assumed it was, well, I still assume, because it hasn't been stated otherwise, that it was for religious purposes, that if we proved the earth was flat, that we would know God is real. And I don't understand the correlation whatsoever, because, I mean, there's so many different versions of religions and God. It just makes no fucking sense to why the earth being flat would prove that there's a God, So even scientifically or religiously, it was all wrong. So him claiming that was just, what the fuck? Literally, my biggest issue with celebrities is, if you're going to twist stone cold facts, like literally, we have pictures of the earth. People have been to space. I can go outside tomorrow and know that the earth is round based upon shadows. Different times of day, the different shadows. You can literally draw on the hour, every hour, and trace it with a piece of chalk, and it'll be a curve. So, just the way the light reflects and everything. Scientifically speaking, the earth is round. So if you're going to use your celebrity to try to change actual facts and try to exploit ignorance and things that aren't real, I think that's when your celebrity should be taken away. If I'm going to get on Instagram right now and say, we're the only planet in our solar system, and the sun revolves around us, and we're shaped like a disc, so, and if I was a huge celebrity and people started listening to me and thinking that, I'm literally regressing their knowledge. I'm literally stopping people's growth. I'm stunting their intellectual growth, and I think that's when celebrity should be taken away, when people go to that extreme. That's why I don't like Donald Trump. People are like, yeah, well, he speaks his mind, but since when does that qualify you to be a president? Since when is speaking your mind? Then I should be fucking president, right? Because I speak my mind. Nobody knows jack shit about being president. He doesn't know jack shit about being president or moving money or economy. He filed for bankruptcy like 4 times anyway. So if that's all it takes to be president, a lot of people don't think things through thoroughly. They just want a person who conveys some kind of emotion, awakes some kind of emotion in them. And Donald Trump happened to awaken the racist emotion, and B.O.B. happened to wake up the fucking ignorance. So, that's when I think celebrity should be taken away, personally, if you're just going to stifle people's growth.
There should be a balance. Like, I documented a couple of things that, like, you take a stance on and everything. So there's a lot of people that want to awaken the generation that's after us, before us, in our generation. I always encourage people to move forward, to evolve. If you just stand still, you're just gonna be dead in the water. You're not supposed to stop. You're supposed to keep going. You're supposed to grow. Like
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
in my last podcast that I did. I was telling my co-host that I'm not the same person I used to be, and when I was younger, I found it fucking corny when people used to tell me, "Oh, with age, you'll see with age, you'll see with age," but it's actually true. There's certain experiences you have to go through to just get a different kind of sense of prioritizing your things, like what's more important, what's not important. Like I told him, a fat ass doesn't mean shit to me anymore. Like I can find a lot of women that physically fit the description that I like personally, but then I need them to have more now because there are different things that I'm venturing into in my life, and I don't want just this fine ass bimbo next to me. I actually like having conversation, and so if
Yeah.
you can't have conversation with me, then fuck it. And also, when you're younger, I see like a lot of my younger people and stuff. They have a cute girlfriend, and then this girl is dumb as fuck. This girl is just like a spoiled brat, and they put up with it. And I tell them, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know that you're wasting time. You don't get the time. Like the minute we just spent talking, you're not getting it back. The minute the fucking 10, 20, 30 minutes that you spent arguing with this girl about some nonsense, about why is your mom texting you so much and you might be sleeping with your mom kind of shit, you're not getting it back. So why are you wasting your time? Time is so precious. You only get a limited amount of time. And the thing is, we don't know how much time we get. Everybody gets different, a different amount depending on how they live and just circumstances in their life. I'm at that point where I'm very selfish with my time. I don't want to share my time with somebody, my time and my energy with somebody that's just going to misuse it or that's just going to waste it. It makes no fucking sense.
The funny thing is, no matter how much we preach that, nobody will ever learn. Because I never tell anybody what to do with their time. That's just a lesson they have to learn on their own. We can scream that from the rooftops. We can yell at people. We can yell at the smartest person alive that they're wasting their time. But if they don't feel like they're wasting their time and they feel like that's the value way to spend it, then so be it. To me, that's the only way we can have survival of the fittest, if that makes sense, in our current day and age, is if everybody listened to the smartest people in the world, we wouldn't have half the problems we have now. So it's just kind of like a natural progression of life. If you choose to do poorly with your time, you're going to live in a terrible manner. If you choose to do well with your time, you'll be very prosperous and either money, life, wisdom, whatever the case may be, family, you will be very prosperous. But it's just, this is now the new survival of the fittest. It's just what we select to do with our time. So I never tell anybody to do with their time because, that's something they need to learn on their own. I can, just like the saying goes, you can only lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. No matter how much education or knowledge you can give to a person and hold it at their face, you can't make them do what you want with it, and everybody's going to perceive it differently. If this kid is arguing with his young hot girlfriend, about fucking McDonald's, and he's going to reflect on that someday, and he's either going to say, man, I miss that, or man, I miss her, or, wow, I was stupid. And that's just his happiness level has nothing to do with my happiness. So why even waste my time arguing about that kind of thing, Unless they want my advice, then I'll tell them, I think you're fucking stupid, but that's it.
The only thing I do is just I encourage the people that live in a higher conscience like you, for all of us to just keep dropping gems, like the things you post up in your Instagram. I like them because every so often it's like you joke around. I read a post that you said where you're like, I'm not the type of person that puts inspirational quotes. Shout out to the person, to the people who do, but I'm just not that person. You don't post up inspirational quotes, but you do check people's stupidity, and in doing so, you drop a little gem here and there, and we have to leave trail behind for the people who actually want to keep going and want to evolve, because I've seen a lot of people that are smart that just get frustrated with the stupidity that people are facing, that we're facing now, where it's like I go on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook to see what I'm going to care about today, and they don't think for themselves. The thing with the Pray for Paris, right? I guarantee you about 90% of the people, they post it up and they change their face thing, and they put the France flag on their profile page, haven't checked to see how everything is going there and how everything's progressing and how they're
of course they didn't. I mean, because media, social media, I wouldn't even say, I'd say even news is now considered more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like social media. They're editorials. They're not giving us the news. It's basically all social media. They're telling us what we have to care about. And you're right. A lot of people don't think about, they don't think for themselves. They don't think, oh, well, what should I care about? They want somebody to tell them what they should care about and not actually personally feel something that they care for. There's no passion anymore in the world at all. Very few people have it. So, let me take that back. I never say never. Very few people have passion. But otherwise, it's, everybody right now, Kesha is in a really fucked up situation. What's going on with her? I'm not throwing any shade at her. I think she should be free of her contract. However, everybody's caring about that right now. And then they're trying to spin it into like a big sexist issue. Now, being a woman, I can tell you right now, this is not a sexism issue. This is not a sexism issue. Everybody's saying, oh, well, Chris Brown got out of a contract after he beat Rihanna, and he was able to still have a successful music career. Okay, who's saying Kesha can't be successful after this? Who's saying that? You're saying that. Nobody else is saying that. Kesha has the option right now to work within Sony with a different music producer if she got comfortable with him. The fact of the matter is she didn't report any incidences outside of this from him, so she's going to have a hard time proving the case. She just wants out of the contract. I totally get it. I understand that. And she should be freed, like I said. However, everybody's trying to spin it into like a man has control over a woman. That's not it at all. She can take the situation by the horns if she truly wanted to. She can spin it around. She can make it into a thing. And that's the biggest issue is people, they just want to fight so much they don't know what to fight about. They will read so deep into something that you've made perfectly clear for them and it can't get any deeper. But they will try to make it as deep as possible, and they will try to make it about them. They will find something that strikes their chord, and when really it's not. This isn't a sexism case at all. This is not anything like that at all. This is a woman who needs to be freed from her contract because she happened to be and work with somebody who is a fucking monster, not because he's a man and he's allowed to get away with it. Just because that's a contract that they set up is pretty locked tight. And yes, the courts have the power to, do whatever they need to do to free her from it, but there's a process, there's steps, and everybody has to go through process and steps. Nobody's an exception unless you're willing to drop mega money. And that is that, Yeah,
that's very true. Dr. Dre, right? Once he wanted to leave Death Row, he left Death Row and he left his masters. He left all his rights, his royalties, and everything that I know. He left everything. He dropped it. He was like, okay, I'm getting out of my contract, but the only way Suge Knight actually let him out of his contract is if he left everything that he had made at Death Row there. And he did. He was like, look, I have enough talent to keep making hits, to keep making beats. And he left. He made more money. He got recently he had the deal where they sold the Beats by Dre to Apple, and he made like $1 billion or something on that. So
oh yeah,
everybody goes.
If you're talented, you'll make money. That's just that.
Yeah, everybody goes through it. Same thing like Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea, she's like been the first white successful rapper. She was with
female rapper anyway.
Yeah, she went to Interscope. She was signed to Interscope, a place where it's Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, all these people, they didn't do anything with her. They let her go. T.I. signed her, and then she made a bunch of hits, but she actually had to pay to get out of her contract, even though they weren't doing anything with her. Same thing with the, I forgot who, I think it was The Game. The Game had to make, the way he signed his contracts in the beginning with 50 Cent, he had to do 2 albums, and even though he was dissing 50 Cent at the time, whatever success I think his last 2 albums had, 50 Cent saw some kind of royalty off of it because he was a signed artist to him. And so everybody gets fucked over in the industry. It's not that. It's just her case is a little bit particularly worse because there's some kind of violence involved. But everyone,
everybody goes through it. I mean, how come we're not talking about, Suge Knight running over people, and you know what I mean? Here's the thing. As a woman, I hate it when women play victim card all of a sudden when they want out of something. There's nothing that irritates me more than that. Nothing irritates me more than a so-called feminist saying or making fun of men and saying shit about men, and then once the man turns around and says shit about her, all of a sudden she wants to say, well, that's not fair. You can't talk about me like that, you fucking sexist pig. Well, you were doing the same thing to him. Feminism is literally about equality. I know as late as that sounds, some people, especially the new generation, they're perverting it. They don't understand how it started and where it came from and why it still currently exists. It still currently exists because there are low-key problems involving women that aren't equal to men. And biologically speaking, we're just different, Yeah. So yes, generally, we're going to have more issues like menstruation. You know what I mean? I hate to bring this up on your show and shit, but so we'll just say menstruation for the sake of birth control because they want to defund Planned Parenthood, which hands out free birth control. Not really free birth control. You have to pay for it, but majority of the time for free. And by that, that's condoms, pills, the shots, whatever the case may be.
Maternity
leave. Yeah. So if you defund that, you literally, you would cause such a tremor in our population and STD control. People don't understand what Planned Parenthood does. Not just for women, but for men. You affect the women, you're going to affect the men as well. We need to defund Planned Parenthood and blah, blah, blah. People need to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Well, that's not exactly how it works. That's not the case. And, a lot of people want to boss a woman's body around and say, well, it's fair that men have to, put up with this when women get to have maternity leave and women get to do this and women get... Well, it's not like we get to do it. It's not like a fucking vacation. It's not like a jolly good time every single month, when you get your period or when you go on maternity leave and you go push a human being out of your body. That's not a fucking cakewalk. So if the man is there, then yeah, he should also get paid, fatherly leave. However, his body isn't medically recovering from what just happened to him. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you want to make abortion illegal, okay, a population is going to boom. Now be prepared for women doing illegal abortions and dying, and be prepared for women having paid maternity time off, because a woman shouldn't have to choose between her family and her career that she works very hard for. Nobody should ever have to do that. And if men were able to have babies, I would say a man should never have to choose between a career and his child, but that's the circumstances women are currently facing still to this day. It sounds like shit from the 40s, but it's absolutely true. A woman has to pick between her money and her children. That's always going to be the case for single women, single mothers, or even mothers in relationships. They're a 2-income family, and all of a sudden they have to be a 1-income family because she doesn't get paid maternity leave. Granted, not all businesses are this way, but most of them are. And that's why most Fortune 500 companies will not hire women CEOs. They literally flat out say, because women can have children and they want to start families, and this is not conducive to our business. I understand you have a company to run, but that's not okay. you're going to hire a less qualified male for the job because they're less likely to have children. So this is still why feminism exists. So what younger generations think of feminism is not feminism. That's just flinging around poo. That's not feminism. What I'm stating is feminism. To make it known to those people saying, hey, you know what? We're just as qualified. Yeah, we can reproduce, but so can the man. And you're saying it's okay for the man to knock his wife and leave and become a big CEO, but you're not saying it's okay for a woman to raise a family and support her family and also be a CEO. You're making her choose, and that's not okay.
We're not equal. Men and women aren't equal. We're different.
Correct.
Not one. One is not more important than the other one. And I always tell people, you think women are less than men? Okay. Exterminate women. What the fuck happens to the human race? Unless you're going to push your baby out your ass, we're going to come to a screeching halt in our species, and we're fucked without women. If women can't make babies without men, so we're fucked. They're fucked either way without us. So we're different, but we're not equal, but we're different. But we're not less. Not one, not the other is more important than the other one. Just like women get paternity leave, men get to work year round.
Most men are stronger than women. Most. And that's not all. And the cases are definitely circumstantial.
Yeah, I seen a guy get his ass beat by a woman.
I say, like, if he cheats on you and you find out and he comes home like it ain't nothing, you get to hit him. And a lot of people don't agree with me when I say this. I said, well, look, here's the thing. He has to deal with the hurt jaw for a few hours, but she has to live with the emotional damage that has now been done to her with the cheating. So I think him being able to take a little bit of pain for her to take a lot of pain is, that seems fair. However, she goes out, she cheats on you, she comes home like it ain't nothing. I think you should be allowed to slap her. I think, you know what? Slap her, because you now have to live with that pain. And she has to deal with that, just a little bit of pain on her face or wherever you decide to slap her. But now you have to deal with that emotional pain. And that's what I mean. Cases are definitely circumstantial. Now, if you're abusing a woman for the sake of power, hitting her, throwing her around and stuff, and, you're a guy and she's smaller than you and you're bigger than her, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, to make yourself feel good, that's just retarded.
And that's on both sides, though. If you're a woman abusing a man, trying to make yourself feel more powerful or valuable, that's wrong. I don't think that's okay. I think that's absolutely wrong. Because, it happens to both. Some men just don't want to admit it. There's abusive women out there.
That there's, there was a podcast that I listened to, and they were saying this statistic thing where the majority of domestic violence cases are performed by women, but there's only, I think, one shelter for battered men, and it's in Canada, and it has 4 beds in it.
And probably in Canada.
Yeah, and there's 0 reports of it because men don't want to report women. Because obviously, if I go to a police station and go, hey, you know what, my woman keeps slapping me, my woman keeps beating me, they're just going to start laughing at me. They're going to be like, all right, pussy, just go back, man the fuck up. She can't hurt you that bad, or what the fuck's wrong with you? But if I go back home and I snap and I backhand her, then they come and they take everything from me because I'm not supposed to hit a girl.
Yep, and I think that's wrong. I think that's absolutely wrong. I don't think that's okay. I think that's a stupid double society standard. Like, you know what? It's not like I'm saying, oh my God, I'm so strong or anything, but, I'm strong. I box, I'm in MMA, jiu-jitsu, I lift, I keep in shape, I am strong. Now, if I hit you, it's going to hurt. And if you go to the police and you say, my girlfriend is beating on me, I should be held liable because it's going to hurt. Just like if a man hit you, you know what I mean?
I think
I'm not a small woman. So, maybe it is circumstantial, maybe it's not, but I don't think it's okay. I think if you're going to try to hit like a man and act like a man and beat up on somebody, then you should be able to take a hit like a man. I don't think it's okay and fair to just automatically start hitting for no reason. If that's your solution and answer to a little bit of a dispute and you can't discuss it, if that's your immediate answer, then I think you should be held accountable for it.
To quote one of my favorite radio personnels, Charlemagne the God, he always says, you have the right to say and do whatever you want, but don't be surprised when somebody or how somebody else reacts, because they have the right to react however they want to. If you come up to me and slap me and I turn around and go, man, just you're fucking stupid, and walk away, that's fine. If you walk up to someone else and slap them and they turn around and come back and hit you with a fucking chair and then just beat the shit out of you, you can't be mad, because that's his reaction. Everyone doesn't react the same way. There's Jay-Z, who got caught in the elevator and he was getting his ass whipped, and all he did was put his hands up, and even his girl just kind of pretended that she wasn't in the elevator. But he didn't put his hands on her because he knew, I have a fuckload to lose. If I slap this bitch, my entire career, my money, everything is going down the drain. And so he didn't do it. Ray Rice believed in equality. I tell people he was a feminist. He was a feminist. He believes that if she hits me, I have the right to hit her back. And he just cold clocked her, and she just went down. She went down like Frazier. It was bad. And people gave him shit. But it's like, okay, you don't put your hands on anybody. I promote respect from everyone. I promote or I encourage people to be smart. Just like what you were telling me about if a man comes home and he's cheating. This is why this is a road to you can travel if you want to cover your ass. Like I tell people, just like in contracts, because I studied law, I studied psychology, I studied all these things. And so I tell people, before you sign anything, think about the future, okay? If somebody tells you, hey, Gunnz, I want you to we're going to pay you $3,000 for every Comic-Con that you attend for 10 years. And there's maybe 10, 15 of them that happen every year, right? And they tell you, we're going to pay you $3,000 every single time just for showing up, right? For the next 10 years. You got to think about it. You got to think about that if you're going to want to keep doing this for the next 10 years.
And how tired you're going to get. Yeah. And does that include food and room and hotel? There's so much you have to comb through. Yeah. The small, fine details.
And also your brand. Like you didn't, when I first ran into your page, you didn't have as many followers as you did. I think you had 10,000, right? Recently?
I had 20,000.
Oh, shit. See, I think I ran into you when you had 8, right? So now you have 20,000 followers. So your brand is a lot bigger now than it was a year ago or 2 years ago. And so you have to think about that too. A lot of people don't think about that. And so when you were telling me about a guy coming home from just cheating on you, this is why I always tell girls, I believe in this. I believe that in the whole natural selection thing, where I tell all my friends, all my people, all my guy friends, all women are crazy. They just have a different level of crazy. Women are always going to test you to make sure that you are able to hold them down. They don't need you. I mean, they're not going to die without you, but you actually have to be a viable partner, a viable mate. And so you're always going to be tested, because a woman doesn't want to be stuck with a guy who ain't shit. Eventually, if we're dating, one thing is me passing all the tests when it comes to just being your boyfriend. But then when I become your husband, it's a whole different thing of a different set of tests. Because I have to be the one that if you're not okay, I have to make sure that our house doesn't go down. that we're saving for our future, we're saving for these things, because if I'm married to you and all I'm doing is putting us in debt, then that's a big problem. Then when you start thinking about kids, then it's a whole different type of issue, because it's like you have to be a good role model. I'm not going to have kids with someone who's a bad role model. If I have a boy, I want a woman that's a good model, because my sons that woman is going to be the first woman in their life, and they're going to look for a woman just like their mom. And I don't want them to be with some crazy ass woman, and for them, for the cycle to repeat. Same thing with a guy. A guy will always be your daughter's first love and your niece's first love. And so my nieces, they saw me, and I was a good dude. And so when they, I'm still a good dude. And so when they grow up, they're going to be like, okay, well, my uncle always does this. My uncle always does that. If I had a daughter, my daughter would be like, okay, well, my dad always takes care of his mom. My dad, of my mom, he's always, treating her nice, always, bringing her flowers, always telling her how pretty she is, helping her out, helping her, go to school and, blah, blah, blah. And so they're going to gravitate to that kind of men. So I always tell women, raise the bar. Don't just be giving ass to anyone. I mean, you're free to do it whenever you want to. But when you decide to settle down, when you're going to be with somebody, raise the bar. Because if he comes home after cheating on you, and you guys are married, guess what you can do? You can file for a divorce. You can show the judge that he was cheating, and guess what? In the state of California, you can get all his shit, all his money. You don't have to lay a hand on him. You don't have to do anything. You can cripple him and make him fucking regret that he ever fucked with any stupid basic bitch, and he's gonna end up living back in the fucking hood for the rest of his life for fucking you over. And so that's an incentive to act right. Same thing with guys. I always tell guys, don't just go for the fat ass. If you go for the fat ass, understand there's 10,000 guys on Instagram telling her all the time that she's the shit, that she's the shit, that she's the shit. Some women start believing this. Some women start believing that they're flawless, that everything that they do is right, that if they fart, that it's the best smelling fart in the world, all kinds of shit. And then they their partner gets home and goes, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting stupid? Oh, I don't need this shit, because they have 10,000 options. Or they think they have 10,000 options. But I'm pretty sure you could testify to it. A lot of motherfuckers talk that talk, but they can't walk the walk. A lot of people say they want a bad bitch, but motherfuckers wouldn't know what to do with a fine-ass girl. I've dated girls that you would consider not that cute, and I've dated 2 girls that model, right? I knew these guys, all these guys were on her. I knew these guys would hit on her. I saw guys with fucking Benzes and Ferraris and shit drive by and be like, hey, you want to ride with me? You want to go here? I can fly you out to here. I'm going to be here this weekend. And my ass was still, riding a 1992 Celica at the time. But I didn't turn into the, oh my God, if you leave me, or why are you talking to this guy, or why are you talking to that guy? It's like, okay, I'm what I am. I know what I'm going to offer you. I know where I'm going to be at in 5 years or 10 years. I'm very confident in myself. And so nobody can shake me. It doesn't matter, because when it comes down to it, money can be obtained. A six-pack, I can work out and have a fucking six-pack. But, if she goes with the guy that just has money, she's losing. Because she's losing someone she can trust. She's losing someone that actually has her back when shit hits the fan, when her career isn't going that well, all these other things. And so I always tell people, go for the better person. Always think about the future. Always think about anything. Even if you're struggling right now, you're always going to do better. If you're pushing to do better, you're going to do better.
Exactly. A lot of people don't understand. They think, money can. I admit money can solve a lot of problems. Money can feed you. It can clothe you. It can house you. It pays all your bills. but money is definitely not the final answer to personality and, you know, intelligence. And money can make you intelligent, but it doesn't necessarily make you a good person. And it just boils down to doing what you want with your life. You know, the time you spend with your life, making wise choices here and there. You just gotta kind of do what's best for you. Some people are very, very happy just living, you know, the sugar daddy life. There are several happy women who enjoy that, you know, and then there are several happy men who basically kind of do it as well. But then it's just the type of person that you are. Would you be happy doing that? You know, everybody's an individual case. It's all circumstantial. You can't just, you know, kind of pinpoint it down and say, well, here's where the problem is. Everybody's happiness is different. Everybody's core values are different. Everybody is raised differently. Everybody thinks differently. And, you know, that's why it's just so hard all coming to an agreement about something. And people will hate just to hate, you know, like Pat Williams said, that's their job. So let them hate, because that's just what they do. There are going to be people out there who are happy in their situation because they know, you know, somebody else is doing worse than them, and they're happy about that. You know, there's just all this circumstance. You can't pinpoint it. You know, you really can't say, oh, you know, be smart, go for the better personality. It's not always the case. Some people don't want personality. Some people want shallow and vapid, you know?
Yeah, true. Not a lot of people want... Certain people don't... That's a mistake a lot of people make, where it's like, no, you have to be awakened, you have to be smart. Not a lot of people do that. I've had conversations with people where it's like, I'll listen to a song, because I'm big on lyrics. And so I'll listen to a song, and I'll talk to somebody about it. I'll talk to my friends. And out of the 5-6 people that I talk to, I'll say, you know, this lyric meant this and that. It's like, really? I thought he was just saying that. I thought he was saying that. And I look at them, I'm like, wow, they really don't think they're as deep as a puddle. And that's okay. They're happy. Their interest is something else, and that's fine. I live a different kind of existence where I see things a little deeper, and I think about, you know, I think a couple moves ahead more than most people, and so that's also fine. I just, you know, I don't...
Well,
Go ahead.
And here's the other thing. A lot of people see intelligence differently. I see being smart as Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King, and I even say it, somebody like, and he was a terrible dude, but Hitler. These people are smart people. And they were all very inspiring in their own different ways. You have stark contrast to each person, and, you know, even Genghis Khan, all these people were smart. That's my definition of intelligence. And will I find that now? Will I ever be with a person who's that smart? Of course not. Do I crave to be with somebody that smart? Of course I do. That's just what I see in a mate. I would like them to be intelligent and not just very superficial, but time will reveal how deep a person actually is. You know, you can claim to be very deep and be very, very shallow. You know, like you said, as a puddle, you can be shallow as a puddle, or, you know, time will reveal, like, this person is the fucking ocean. This person is endless. This person is space. This person is a black hole. They're just filled with just deep, mind-blowing thoughts. And another person's definition of intelligence can be the puddle. The puddle can be the ocean to them because of their small-mindedness. But me saying, oh, well, you're stupid, you're not intelligent, I can't, because it's all different to everybody. There is no measurement for intelligence. There's only measurement for inspiration. So, you know, you can be the dumbest person alive and be inspiring as hell. Chances are that's not true. Dumb people usually don't inspire, and that's why I tend to base intelligence off of inspiration, is just because smart people know how to inspire. And it can be inspiring negative or inspiring positive, or a subject or a situation or anything. If you can inspire a mass of people to do something that is intelligent, if you can convince thousands of people to see your way and believe your way and not just manipulate them, you can't just tell them, oh, this is my way, this is how we have to do it. Because Kim Jong-un is not smart. He's just a dictator. But if you state your case and you have everybody in the room like, holy shit, you're a smart motherfucker. You know what I mean by that? And if you have all those people following you and backing you up, you're smart. If you just say you're smart and if you say you're deep and there's really nobody following you or not following you, if you're not inspiring, there we go. If you're not really inspiring to thousands of people because you're not putting an effort to put yourself out there to inspire others, I think that's where the lackluster is. If you think, shirtless selfies on Instagram is going to inspire, then that's not smart to me. But that's just me. Like I said, it could be smart to other women or men, but it's not smart to me. And for me to say that's not smart would be contradictory to my own beliefs, so I don't say it. Everybody has different levels of intelligence, and because of the reasons of the standards to which I hold intelligence to, I don't come anywhere near it. I don't think I'm smart. I don't think I'm intelligent. I just feel and know as a human.
I think that's the scary part about what social media did. It blurred the lines because there's levels to this shit. And it actually gave a platform to everybody. Before, you had to be smart, you had to be successful in order to have a platform to reach millions of people. Now, all you have to do is be shirtless on Instagram, and you have the attention of 10,000 people. They might not be the smartest people, but you have 10,000 people or 5,000 people, even 3,000 people are looking at you and going, okay, what is he going to do or what is she going to do? You don't get people to follow you. Like dumb people can't, you said dumb people can't inspire, but they can persuade somebody. They mimic them. The people who, there's a lot of dumbass people. There's a sea of dumbass people who are on Instagram. It's not inspire, but they give the other dumbass people something to do. And so when somebody goes like the water, like the ice bucket challenge, a lot of people were wasting fucking water. Somebody started it for a reason. They actually donated money. And then there's people that were fucking broke doing the ice bucket challenge. And it's like, okay, you just threw water on the ground that you could have donated to somebody, gave it to a homeless person, something. And you didn't even fucking donate money. So what the fuck did you just do? Then I lost hope in humanity just more than usual. I saw did you ever see the whole condom challenge thing?
Yes.
Where somebody was trying to snort a condom and put it out to the other. Yeah. I was like, wow, okay, I need to stay off social media for a little bit because I was just going to explode on random people. Everyone was going to, I was just going to go Deadpool on everyone and just leave bodies, blood, guts, and ass everywhere just laying around because that was just the dumbest shit to me. And I think that's what social media did. It didn't just give a platform to the people that can actually inspire. It also let the dumbass people on stage as well. And so
you put a typewriter in front of a monkey, eventually it'll write a novel. It may not be a smart novel, but eventually it'll write. And that's what social media did. Social media put typewriters, phones, in front of monkeys, us. And a vast majority of it is garbage. But it's entertaining garbage to people. So they'll watch, they'll listen, they'll see puppets, they'll mimic what they see, and that's that. That's just humans. So, and reality TV before that, soap operas before that, and smut novels before that, and gossip before that. It's just a natural selection of humans progressing technology-wise. Now, however, this gives a platform to actual intelligent people, and they are changing the world with social media. They're voicing their opinion, and their very, very smart opinion is being noticed, or, you know, you'll find extremely talented people, musicians, artists, you know, anything online nowadays. And those are the exceptional people that had the typewriter and did something beautiful with it. You know, they fucking wrote Gone with the Wind versus everybody else who's, you know, barely meeting Dr. Seuss criteria.
I think that's what the awakened people have to do, not get frustrated. For a short amount of time, it seemed like the dumbass people actually knew how to manipulate social media better than the people who were smart, because we were used to actually having a conversation face to face. And so the dumb people, basically the convicts were running the jail for a while, and now the people that are socially conscious and the people who are actually smarter are getting the hang of it, because social media is so simple, and just kind of, it was wilding out of control for a while. But now I think everybody's creating a lane to do things that they're supposed to do, like businesses. A lot of businesses are small businesses. They give them, you know, a platform to sell to somebody from the East Coast or the West Coast. You know, it's like, just, you know, click on the link in the bio and you can go to my, you know, you see this clothes that I make, that I tailor. I know people that tailor. They do, I knew this girl that's a seamstress, and she does really nice dresses. And so her business went up maybe like 300% because of social media. She's gotten customers from everywhere. Like, I think some girl from Australia actually ordered her a dress, and she wasn't even prepared for it, because she's like, wait, how do I ship it? It's going to cost me a lot to ship the dress, and I don't even know if I can get it to her. And she had to deal with that new problem that she had to deal with. She eventually figured it out, but we actually have to find a way to network with each other, like me and the podcast. I'm able to reach out to you. I'm able to reach out to a couple other people that aren't, you know, down the street or up the block, 30-minute drive or anything like that. That's a smart way to network. You can use
social media is there's definitely a lot of positive for it. And the other thing, like I said, though, you can't really say what's positive and what's negative. And like I said last night, is you can be hated by some, but loved by many. No matter what you do, there's going to be some people hating you out there. There's going to be some people who will call you stupid, who will call you names, who will degrade you, and there's going to be other people who say you're the most intelligent person on earth. That's because most of the things on earth, besides science and math, are just perspective points, and a lot of people don't understand this. There is no right and wrong at all. You can establish what's right and wrong for the greater good of the people, like the law. We can all agree that murder is bad. Well, no, not all. We can't all agree on that even. But, taking a life is not okay because they're not able to take yours, and we go off of an eye for an eye. So if you take a life, we'll take your life. Yeah, we'll give you the death penalty. We'll give you, and that's the fine line right there. Is you took something that wasn't yours. That's not okay. We have to establish certain rules and regulations. However, we only feel this way because it's not like, I'm going to be honest. When I was an overnight stalker at Walmart, I saw a woman with a child take a loaf of bread and a package of diapers and only one case of formula. And I've seen people go into Walmart, load up a full shopping cart of formula and push it right out the emergency exit, and they're going to sell it on Craigslist for $10 a pop. Half the price of the shelf, and they're making money, and they stole it. You see that shit all the time. However, I just saw, Pampers, bread, and one small ass case of formula, and she was stealing it. I didn't say shit. I know it's wrong. Yes, it is against the law. I did not say shit. I turned my head and I looked the other way because whatever hardship she's having in her life, to only steal those things and not be greedy and walk out, then so be it. Because I've seen a lot worse. Like I said, I've seen people load up their shopping carts with 3 TVs, push out the emergency exit, and try to escape as fast as possible. I was going to say Walmart security is really up to Danny and the cameras, so they'll catch you. But, people are tempted anyway. But yeah, I turn my cheek because in those cases, it's definitely circumstantial. Now, if you molest a small child, rape a small child, I think you deserve murder. But that's just me. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. We can't say, oh, that's right and wrong. You can't take a person's life, because I definitely feel there are circumstances to which you should be able to take a person's life.
See, my opinion on that is, I don't think, at least when it comes to child, like, molestation and all that, I honestly think that we are way too fucking lenient with people that do that. Because you put down a dog that bites a human being or a small child, you put that dog down. If a motherfucker is sick enough to touch or molest or rape a child, someone who can't even defend themselves, that's enough for me to say, you know what, you fucked up enough, you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, I agree with the death penalty in certain situations, because it's like, you've proven to society that there's no positive you can provide on this earth. You have fucked up enough.
You can't function as a basic human being on Earth.
You can't do the basic things, and you have fucked up enough to where you earned your ticket to get the fuck out of here. You don't deserve to breathe, to fucking exist, and you're just taking up space. You're taking up space, you're taking up taxpayers' dollars for the fucking prisons and whatnot. And that's it. I understand a certain level, like petty crimes, maybe like drug cases or something like that. And even then, because there's certain things.
Even then, I don't think, if you're a marijuana offender, I don't think you deserve to be in jail. I really don't.
But if you're El Chapo, because I wanted to ask you this, actually. It's a great segue to it. There's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, free El Chapo, free this, free that. He has kind of like a Robin Hood kind of thing going on in I guess in Mexico. And here people kind of like, they make him seem like a fucking superhero or kind of like an outlaw, kind of like a celebrity, right? And people say, oh yeah, well he gave back a lot. He also murdered a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, they're glorifying something that shouldn't be glorified. He murdered a lot of people that didn't deserve to be murdered. Like I said, right and wrong, all in the eye of the beholder. However, we can mostly agree that, murdering somebody for the sake of murdering is not okay.
If you have me killed,
all you want, but he's still murdered.
Yeah. If I have you killed, if you're a cop, and I have you killed for trying to stop me from doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing anyway, because it's illegal, I'm fucked. I deserve the death penalty because I took your life. You were doing good. You did everything you had to do. You went to school. You studied. You went to your academy. You're doing your job. You're just trying to stop me from fucking up the environment or anything like that. Yeah, in society. Not environment, society. And I kill you for it, I'm a piece of shit. But unfortunately, like I tell everyone too, like you said, there's always two sides to every story. People say, well, eliminate the drug dealers and there won't be anything. It's not just the drug dealers. There are people who you can't leave them alone. A friend of mine, right? He had a cast on his leg for about 2 weeks, right? For 2 weeks, all he could do was just stay home, eat, and watch TV. I saw him maybe like 1 week in, and he had let his beard grow, and he did a bunch of drawings on his leg cast. The second week, I went to see him. He had no eyebrows, and I say he had no eyebrows. And from what he told me, he had no body hair at all. Anywhere.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why? And he goes, man, I got bored. There was nothing to do. So, I just kind of started shaving everything. And I'm like, okay, you can't leave people alone with themselves at times. There are people who go, okay, well, let me read a book. let me do something positive. And there are people that, if left alone, they start fucking animals. They start 9 out of 10 people that I know that watch porn have told me, oh yeah, I started with watching this porn and that porn, interracial porn and threesomes, and then everyone
it gets progressively extreme.
yeah. Somebody told me that 9 out of 10 of them.
And by the end, they're watching a guy being hung by his dick from the ceiling with a brick or something.
Yeah. They always tell me, they're like, yeah, that's when it took a dark turn. I had a friend of mine go, no, I had to stop myself because I actually watched a dog fucking a girl. I'm like, that's when I looked at myself and I was like, what the fuck have I become? And he literally,
you can't leave people alone. You're right. The problem is a human problem, and the ability to control ourselves and the ability to control who we are and our actions. However, most of us don't have the self-control. Most of us don't. That's why most of us are addicted, and we don't even know we're addicted, to video games, social media, drugs, alcohol, liquor, soda, food. Most of us have an addiction, and we don't even know it. And it's because we get bored and we need something to do, and not necessarily blame evolution. Evolution can't fix everything. Evolution hasn't fixed everything because we're not evolving fast. We're evolving slow. So some of those things still reside within us. Who knows? Maybe 50 years from now, you can leave people alone and they'll be completely kosher because we're not doing anything, so our children won't do anything, and those children's children won't do anything. When in reality, humans were picking berries, taking down sabers and saber-tooths, and, they had to go hunt for their food, and they had to gather things, and they had to build things, and, this is why, and but I say biologically, men and women are different. This is why women, we get messy, and we mess the home, and we set it up a certain way, and we act a certain way in our home. And with men, they just want to build, and make, because it's just in our natural biology, and that's why you can't leave people alone. And
there's that argument. Of women can be faithful. Women can be monogamous because they are home.
No. I think
the guy
your ability to be faithful stands on a morality ground. We all have the capacity to cheat. We all do. We all have the option to cheat.
No, I agree with that, but
that's a morality ground.
No, but they're saying, or people have said that women, it's a lot easier for men to cheat because we are genetically made to reproduce. Like I told someone a couple in one of my old podcasts. I told them we're a couple of diseases, maybe one plague away from extinction. It only takes one person to get sick. It only takes Ebola to fucking knock off a couple of thousand. Half of people. And so for men, it's like it's in our genetic code to breed, to reproduce, because the more numbers, the greater we are in numbers, the harder we are to be extinct. That's one of the reasons why a lot of animals...
A lot of people don't see this as well, but it's women's job to reproduce too.
Oh, no, I know that. I know that.
Procreate. Women want to create as well. And, a lot of women, I guess, don't want to admit this or whatever, but women are just as sexual as men. However, we want to build a nest, we want to build a home, we want an alpha male. So get this, if she doesn't feel you're alpha enough in the relationship, she'll leave you and she'll go get with him and maybe even cheat on you with him. That's why I say it's all based on a morality center and how you feel about yourself. Cheating has all to do with morality and nothing to do with biology. And biologically speaking, we both want to reproduce and we both want the same end result in a way. You know what I mean? We both want the biggest, baddest, best person to carry on our genes. And as we get older, that starts to fall out of us a little bit because, our hormones aren't as raging and, testosterone levels drop, estrogen levels spike and drop. So, biologically speaking, that makes sense. We totally get why older people tend to be a bit more monogamous and relationship, one relationship type or alone even. But when you're younger, and your hormones are racing and it's just time to play ball. Like, that all has to do with morality center. That has nothing to do with,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, yeah, you can just be careful because there are STDs out there and things like that. But, I mean, if you're young, you're free to do almost everything you want. Just don't go around hurting people. Always be honest with people. If I meet a girl and it's like, look, I like you physically, I like you. I'm really not looking for a relationship. If that's how you want to rock, let's rock. If not, then, there's always another girl and you can find a better person. I've told women this before. When I was younger, I told them, I'm not interested in being in a relationship right now because I'm too busy, I'm too this, I'm too that. And so I've ran into girls that are, no pun intended, that were okay with that. And there were girls that were like, oh, well, it's cool, we can just be friends. And we kept it pushing. Everything comes with age. Again, I get embarrassed when people tell me there's youngsters that go, oh, I'm turning 23, I'm turning 24, my life is over. It's like, motherfucker, if you're gonna die at 30, yeah, your life's pretty much over. But I'm gonna die.
Seriously.
I'm gonna die at 100.
A lot of people.
At 100.
A lot of people don't understand. Most people's lives don't start until you're 30. You have your 20s to fuck up everything, and 30 is when you start to get your shit together. People don't realize that. People think, oh, 30, you're so old, you're a haggard, old, washed up, whoever you are. And really, it's no, that's when your career starts. J.K. Rowling, Seth MacFarlane, Walt Disney all found their career after the age of 30. So, that speaks volumes to me. All the greatest people, inventors, everybody, besides Beethoven and musicians, of course, but
he's the exception.
Did everything phenomenal after the age of 30. So, there's just this awkward pressure on society. You have to be great while you're young and beautiful, or the world won't want you. And we're focusing everything on image versus intelligence, and that's where our society is skewing as well. As we touched upon that subject, it's kind of a call around. Everything is based on looks. You have people posting up gym selfies all the time, and, they're trying to be, oh, look at me, look at me, look at me, shirtless selfie. It's like, okay, so why are you doing this? Oh, because I want to look at naked. Cool. Not because, I do it because I'm strong, and I like being strong. As a female, I know I can walk down the street, and a motherfucker can try to kick me out, but he won't be successful. And I can confidently say that. You know what I mean? That's why I do it. I do it not to show off, not to pose naked, or not to take shirtless selfies. I do it because I'm strong, and I know I'm strong. And 3 years ago, if you would ask me that question, I would have been like, oh, to look good naked, because I wanted that at that moment in time. And now I'm like, no, because I know I can beat your ass if I wanted to. Doesn't mean I am, but now it's just, a different perspective. And that's just where media and society takes us. You have all these young people looking on Instagram and thinking I have to look like him to get a girl like her, and I have to look like her to get a guy like him.
By the way, I'm one of the people.
Instead of focusing on, oh, well, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and I may be able to change the world. They're looking at it from a very selfish, small perspective point of view. And that's the only perspective we're offering as a society, though. We're not offering any larger perspective here in America, anyway, I should say. Because it's not like that everywhere. It's really not. But here in America, we just offer that slight perspective.
If anything, if there's a point of view or just a suggestion I can push from this, it's like, it's okay. The whole every so often is shirtless selfie is fine. You're still young. Keep doing that, but know that you can't be posting any fucking shirtless selfies the rest of your life. You got to do something else. Like you said,
exactly.
all the fuckery is at when you're 20, when you're 30. It's like, see, you got it right, and this is something that I really, really like about you personally. To me, you're personally a living example of how I think women should carry themselves. You're a smartass. You know how to have fun. You know how to you know how to have fun. You like doing your thing. You're not necessarily in anything serious, but you're not taking life as a complete joke and whatnot. Once you get deep in your, well, not deep, but like once you get to like mid 30 or whatever, you're keeping your body in shape to where you can compete. I guarantee you, I can tell you now, and I'll put this on record. When you're about 38, I'll put money down right now that you will be able to fucking compete with a 22-year-old or a 23-year-old. When you're 38, I'll put my money down on that shit right now because you got it figured out in that sense where it's like people have a six pack and they have great bodies at 20, and then at 30 they kind of give up. They stop trying to get fit. They're like, what the fuck is the point? I'm 30. I'm gonna be 40. I'm gonna be 50. I'm still trying to be the Mexican Hugh Jackman, dude. I'm gonna look 25 at 56. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I've told people this shit. I had gotten in shape. I got into a fucking car hit my knee while I was on my motorcycle. And so I gained the weight back because I kept eating and not exercising, which is the dumbest shit I did. And now I'm fixing it. And somebody told me, they're like, dude, you're fucking 30 already. Like, why are you you're not going to look as young. And I told him, okay, talk to me by the end of the year, man. I'm gonna be able to compete with these motherfuckers because my life isn't done. Like, my energy, my plans, and my thing didn't end at 22, didn't end at 23.
They evolve is what the word is. A lot of people don't understand is at 22 and 23, it would have came easier, but I would have taken it for granted because it came so easy.
No,
but now that
I did
because you're older and you kind of have to work at it, you're not taking it for granted anymore, and you understand the value of it, and that's just what things come with age, like people say.
Yeah, no,
and that's the absolute truth.
Yeah, you know what I did, and on a personal note, like I did. I had bad, as much as I want to bitch sometimes about the crazy ass women that I've ran into and I've met and stuff like that. I've dated at least 2 girls that were perfect for me. They were really, really good to me. They were beautiful. They were funny. They got my jokes. I got their jokes. Every time I saw them, I call them my muses. They always inspired me to write poetry, to do something for them on March the 14th. Why March the 14th? Because it was just any fucking day of the week of the year. It didn't matter. It didn't have to be a special day. I did something for them whenever the fuck I felt like it. Whenever I looked at them, it was always inspiration. It was always this and that. They had my back and everything. But I was young. And I was fucking dumb. And at times I let my ego get in the way. I had ambition and I didn't think I could do it. With some being tied down, I also saw their ambition as well. One of the girls, I let them go because they had so much ambition that I felt I didn't want to hold them back, and so I was young then. It's like now I know what I want. I want to find a girl similar to these girls that I met, that I have ran into really good things in my life, which I've also ran into fucking horrible women that I know the signs. There's a big ass flag that's going to come up if I ever meet another girl like that. I know where to look for the red flags at. And so with age came that, where I know what I want and I know what I don't want in a girl. I know what I want and I know what I don't want in my life, in my jobs. I know how tired I want to be every day. I know how I don't want to be exhausted every day. I know how much I'm willing to push myself to reach my goals, and I know my limits. I set my limits to the point where I'm not going to push my body to the point where it's going to break down, because I still want to be doing this shit for the long run, not just short term. I don't want to be a cage fighter for 20 years, you get me? I'll be a cage fighter for a year, make my money, and then get the fuck out. Like Ronda Rousey, Some people are giving her flack because she's supposed to come out in like 2-3 movies now, and she's not really focused on fighting. She was a fucking champion for the entire time, even with the loss that she took. She gave it her all, and I think she can still come back and win the title if she chooses to. But if she doesn't,
I agree, because even Muhammad Ali lost fights, and we call him the champion. You know, you gotta. People will lose sometimes, but the difference between a champion versus just a winner is a champion will know that their losses are just as important as their wins, and they will come back from that bigger and better. And a winner is somebody who gets lucky. You know what I mean? Like, yep. Holly Holm, yeah, she fought well, but she's just a winner. Ronda Rousey is a champion because Ronda Rousey knows what she did wrong. Ronda Rousey knows that she was fucked up in her head. She was fighting sloppy. She was doing sloppy shit. She was just off guard. She was tired. She knows that. She regrets that, and she says it. And that's what makes her a champion versus somebody who just got lucky like Holly Holm. I have no hate for Holly. She's a great athlete. But Holly Holm just got lucky. That's all that is.
She hasn't proven herself the champion, just like I tell people about Mayweather. Mayweather is one of the greatest defensive fighters in the world. But if he actually had to go up against, like, there's not enough talent to challenge him. If he had to actually fight, not run around, but fight for 12 rounds in one fight, and he actually won, then I would be like, yeah, definitely, without a doubt, he's the greatest of all time. But he hasn't had that slugfest. He hasn't had that anyone to really go up against him back and forth. And so he was able to tire his opponents out. He was able to score and win. He's a very technical boxer. He's not a slugger. He's not like Tyson. Tyson just went at people.
Tyson had a weird boxing style. Tyson was like brutal. And Tyson could fucking fight. Mike Tyson is a fucking champion, and he definitely deserves to be called champion because he was good. I mean, I love Evander Holyfield too. He's a champion, but damn, like Floyd Mayweather heyday versus Tyson heyday. Tyson would kick his ass.
That's not even a match. Out. That's like, wow. I think he would kill him with a punch. That's how bad it was.
Oh, easy, because like you said, Floyd Mayweather hasn't proven himself to be a good fighter. He's proven himself to be a great defender. You know what I mean? He'll dodge around a little bit. And yes, in a way, there's some strategies he's fighting in boxing, and he'll tire him out and give him a good few 1-2s and everything. But he's not a good fighter. I mean, if he actually had to go toe-to-toe and was forced to, he couldn't hold his own. He couldn't.
Yeah. The girl who beat Ronda, she won. I don't take that away from her. Holmes won the fight, but she has to still prove herself to be a champion. It's like somebody told me when I was coming up, because I always told them, I want to be number one, and they said you have to be ready, you have to prepare to be number one. Just like I was watching Tutors, right? Have you ever heard of that show?
You're watching who?
Tutors. It was like about King Henry. Tutors? Yeah, like King Henry and Annabelle and all that stuff. And there's a scene where she's basically telling her husband's side piece, because she's becoming the new queen, and she goes, "You think this is easy? I was bred to be a queen. I was taught from being an infant to now how to perform, how to carry myself as a queen. You are just getting a crown. That getting a crown doesn't make you a queen. The way you carry yourself, the way you make decisions, the way you do things is that of a queen. So there's a difference. Same thing. You can get the win, but you have to be a champion. You have to maintain that status, because being number one means that you're the first person on the roster to fight. You're the first person that has more to lose than everyone. Everyone coming up doesn't have anything. If they knock you out, they become the champion. They get praise. You get knocked down to the bottom of the pedestal. So it's harder to be the champion. It's easy to get a win. It's easy to get lucky. The guy, the barber who knocked out Suge Knight, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you knocked him out." He was like, "Man, to be honest with you, I just closed my eyes and I swung. I connected and he got knocked the fuck out. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock Suge Knight out." So everybody gets lucky. Everybody can make one win happen, but for it to be consistent, like Ronda did it consistently, being undefeated till she wasn't. It takes skill. It takes commitment,
dedication, effort, art. It takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you to maintain being a champion, and that's why I say you guys can call Holly Holmes a winner, but she's not a champion. Ronda Rousey is a champion. Even if she has losses, she is a champion because she consistently performs, and that's just the way it is for me.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know the difference. And people think that being a winner, being successful means you never take a loss. No, it means that you can come back from a loss, that you can analyze where and why you lost, and then come back and, make your weakness a strength. In any field, whether it's law, being a lawyer doesn't mean you always win all your cases. It means you win the majority of your cases. And being...
Well, here's the thing with a lawyer. If you're good, you'll be successful. And all lawyers want to be good. There isn't a lawyer out there who wants to be bad, who wants to do bad. But what makes you a successful lawyer is word of mouth and cases and it being shown and known that you're consistently good. And it's not easy work by any means to defend somebody you do not agree with and you know their personal life, like, prenuptial agreements or rape or whatever. It's not easy defending somebody you don't agree with.
That's true.
That's what you do, you know what I mean? So it's like what makes you good in a field like that is word of mouth, and definitely intelligence. To be a good lawyer, you have to be smart.
There are actually lawyers who take easy cases, and so their percentage of wins gets a lot higher. And there's people who take the hard cases, and they have maybe someone who takes a lot of high-profile cases, and they win 70% of the time. They're better than someone who has maybe 85% wins, but they get easy, cases where it's kind of
and
like
that all boils down to, if you can even afford your own branch. Of course, as starting out as a lawyer, you really don't have much of a choice. You're in the courtrooms, you're slinging mud in the courtrooms, sometimes pro bono work. You're making your cut from the from the court, judicial system weekly or however often you can perform down there until you can finally build a rep to hopefully get your own firm, but that costs money. A lot of people don't understand. Getting your own firm costs money, and it's not cheap to run your own firm. And usually, people will go partners and law offices, and then there's more hiccups there. So, it's just like business mixed in with more business, mixed in with law, mixed in with, all kinds of shit. To be a lawyer is not easy work, like a lot of people. Oh yeah, I can go in the courtroom and argue that. Well, it's just more than that. You need to not only do you need to get technical about the law, you need to become you need to be, have semantics. Like, everybody's definition of harassment can be different, or stalking can be different, or threats can be different. Everybody can read something into it differently. And a good lawyer, I can tell a lawyer, well, he kept sending me flowers, and I told him to stop, and he didn't stop. A good lawyer will spin that, make him look like a creep-ass stalker, not some nice guy, some creep-ass stalker, after I told him to stop, and he didn't. And that guy would end up in jail or be fined, get a restraining order, whatever the case may be, because he would be penalized with stalking and harassment. a good lawyer would do that. And that's what a lot of people don't get. A lot of people use words wrong. You know, like we were just discussing the difference between being a champion and being a winner. There's a grand difference there. And people like to use the word hypocrite wrong all the time. And it blows me away. And to be a lawyer, you have to not only know your words, you have to know alternative meanings to the words. You have to
that's inconceivable.
So you can not only defend your case properly, to defend your case to the strangers on the jury to make them side with you. So the jury is like, you know what? No, we failed this guy. He was able to talk us into thinking that this guy was a bad guy. This guy sending this female flowers every day is a bad guy because he made it seem so. He spun that story and used the proper words and the proper grammar and the proper emotions to state his case. And that's what being a lawyer is, and that is highly difficult. And most people couldn't do it. They think they could. They really, really do. They think they could, but they couldn't. And we'll go back to the Instagram subject. I have people, and you see the people hopping in my comments mad sometimes about the stuff I post, and they're using words wrong all the time. They call me a hypocrite. I say, well, no, you think I'm a hypocrite because I am popping off on you after you commented something negative on my page. I didn't go to your page and seek out any sort of vengeance. You came to my page. You came to my turf, and you insulted me. Well, you're a hypocrite because you say that you would never do that. You're right. I would never go onto your page, and I would never, ever badger you. But if I came to your page and I did, I would expect you to pop off on me. You see what I'm saying? And so they still don't get that. They still think you're a hypocrite for doing so. Or whenever I post something like, I tell people a stranger's opinion shouldn't matter. A stranger's opinion does not matter. The only time a stranger's opinion matters is if you don't matter to yourself. And then I'll be called a hypocrite because they're like, oh, well, you're trying to get a stranger's approval by posting this. Instead of seeing it like, I'm trying to be inspiring to some people who are having difficult times in their life right now. Because I do get a lot of direct messages from, not younger, I would say in their teen years, being bullied and harassed. And a lot of people don't have the coping mechanisms anymore to deal with a bully.
Among all the dick pics.
Oh yeah. If I swim through all the dick pics, then I can come up with some of these DMs that are kind of, I answer to try to encourage. But then I get called a hypocrite for that. Like, oh well, aren't you on Instagram posting for attention? And you say you don't want attention. I'm not saying I don't want attention. I'm saying I want a different kind of attention than what you want. Your attention isn't right by me, and my attention isn't right by you. So people go, oh, you're a hypocrite because you want attention. No. I want attention, just like you, just like everybody who's on Instagram with a public profile and they hashtag things. Everybody wants attention. That's okay. People need attention. That's natural. Most of us are naturally built that way. To say you don't want attention, you're lying. That's a flat-out lie. Everybody wants attention. I just want a different kind of attention than what you want. Therefore, you call me a hypocrite when I'm not being hypocritical. I'm saying my attention isn't your attention and your attention isn't my attention. It doesn't mean one of us is right and one of us is wrong or one of us is a hypocrite. It just means I'm seeking attention elsewhere with different things than what you are. And I think your attention is wrong. And people just, they sling this word around and they don't know what it means.
Yeah, and you don't mind getting inspiring and getting praise. Well, not so much as getting praise, but props for the things that you do, your cosplays and everything. That's that kind of attention you don't mind and you welcome because it feels good for people to tell you good job on your work. When you work so hard on something and for somebody to go, hey, you know what? It's badass. What you don't want is motherfuckers sending you shirtless pics, dick pics and people going, hey, well, since you posted a picture flexing your muscles, you must want the D. Why else would you be posting
Exactly.
anything? It's like, that's not how it works, fucker. But people don't get
Well,
that shit.
not people don't get that. They and I still get the mountains and mountains and mountains of dick pics just because that's people on the internet. All women go through it, but I try to keep it raw on my Instagram. I try to keep it real, as real as the internet can get, in a way. You know what I mean? I say Instagram is only a small chunk of my life. It's just like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling this at the moment. I'm gonna serve up a little blurb about it and let that be that. It's not like I did research and research and research, and this topic has been consuming me for days. It's literally just a moment in time, and it's like, you know what, I'm kind of feeling this right now, or you know what, I'm kind of bored right now. You know,
it's your page. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, it's entertainment, and a lot of people, it's more than entertainment for them. It's their own reality show, and they're the stars. And if you post something that's anti-them, they're going to take it so personal, and they're going to hit you, and they're going to come at you mad because they think you're personally attacking them. And it can be any one of my followers. I have tons of followers, you know, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all combined. And, you know, I have so many, and I'll come back around to the subject I'm about to talk about. You can post something, and they think you're posting it about them, when in reality, you know, I don't know much about them. If I follow you, you're not a stranger to me. I know a lot about you. I follow you. We talk on a regular basis. But if I don't follow you, I don't know anything about you other than what you comment occasionally on my photos, and I try to respond to everybody accordingly. So, you know, I really cut down my photo time now. I cut down a lot of my posts because I do want to interact with my audience. I want to kind of get a feel for who's following me and what they think, and kind of pick their brains a little bit. And I just hate when people follow stars and, you know, they ask the star a personal question and the star doesn't answer. I mean, I get it. When you have that many followers, it's hard to keep up. But, you know, at least scroll your photo that you posted and try to comment back, you know. It seems kind of arrogant to me when you don't respond to the people who are making you famous and buying your product and selling your name and giving you free advertisement. It's kind of ignorant to not and to respond to them, in my opinion.
I just keep telling people you're a transsexual.
Yeah, I do. If they kind of bug me or whatever, or, you know, they're homophobe or whatever the case may be, if they tend to get too ignorant, I tell them I'm transgender, and then they get all crazy and then they leave, and I'm like, all right, good. I don't have to deal with his ass or her ass anymore. So
it's funny
they're gone. They can spread the word about me if they feel like, you know, I will say whatever the fuck you need me to say in order for you to feel like you won the internet. You know, it doesn't mean that much to me because I'm not carrying a huge case with me. I'm not carrying a huge meaning with me. I'm selling myself. You know, I'm not trying to sell politics. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just selling myself. I'm just selling who I am. And not even fully who I am, just my entertainment value. This is what I find entertaining. I'm not going to be fake because I want people to like me and to buy me. I don't need people to like me or to buy me. But, you know, I'm just being me. And if people like that and they want to buy that, then that's good for me. And I know there's going to be more people out there who will appreciate that, just like I appreciate them. And it will be like a mutual relationship. And I personally believe a much closer bond than being fake all the time. You know what I mean? I couldn't be fake to a person who is like, oh, well, you know, I'm glad you're, you know, a white female who's tall. And, you know, I couldn't be around a person like that small-minded, even if they were buying my shit. You know, if they were buying my photos and they were paying for my photo shoots at a con or whatever, I couldn't work with a person like that. morally, I wouldn't feel okay with myself. I would feel dirty. And that's why I always try to keep it real. But then you have other people who do. You know, they just treat it like a business. But this isn't my business. This is my hobby. And it will always be my hobby because as soon as I turn it into business, it won't be pleasurable anymore. And that's what I try to tell people is, it's not my business, it's my hobby. My business and career are completely different from what my hobby is. This is for pleasure.
Yeah,
This is for fun. You know what I mean? Like,
I always
people get it twisted.
Yeah, I always tell people that, and I feel sorry for the people that lose their voice. Like I told a friend of mine that people lose their voice out of fear for losing money, possession, and position. Because they're like the guy you said, like the bigger cosplayer, they're like, oh, I can't say this, I can't say that because of this. Like, same thing I tell people. Look, I don't give a fuck. I love you guys. If you ride with me, fuck it, I ride with you. But if you don't ride with me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll ride for whatever cause I have. Like, if I'm interested in what happened in Paris, I personally will go and I'll be on my computer and I'll see if I can donate money, and I'll go and I'll see if I can donate some more money, next week or this week or tomorrow or something, right? I don't need anybody cheering me on to do the things that I personally want to do. My personal goals, my personal things, I don't need anyone to back me up to do it. It's cool if you ride with me, but I'm still going to be the same person that I'm going to be. Same thing with you. You have your personal life. You have your successes, your failures. That's separate from Instagram. Instagram is your entertainment, your platform to entertain people, to vent, because we all have the right to vent. Even if there's nobody watching, even if you have 2 followers and you vent and they like your pictures, cool. That's it. Even if, like I think I have a couple of posts that were, it was maybe like 2-3 weeks that passed by, and then maybe somebody liked my picture, not my picture, but just something I posted up once, and somebody told me that, like, damn, that's fucked up. I'm like, I posted it for me, just to have it out there, just for venting purposes.
It's necessary for humans, and sometimes even I keep coming in, but like even when I post something like that, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for a debate, not so I can win or prove them wrong, for my personal knowledge development.
You have to push yourself. You have to, once you put your 10,000 hours in for one thing and you want to learn something else, that's a completely separate, different animal. You want to master social media, you have to be on it all the time. I know my profile can be way the fuck bigger than what it is. I think I have I don't even think I hit 300 followers that I have. But I know I can get a fuckload of followers if I actually focus on it. But my focus is on something different. Like right now, social media isn't my only platform. Like I use social media for my podcast, but eventually I'm going to be on social media a lot more, promoting my podcast and using my my network and my connects and everything to promote it more. But I have, like I told you, I'm working on a web series. I'm working on some photography projects, and so that's what I'm doing. And I also work, and I'm also a dad, and I'm also making sure that I'm there with my kids. So when I decide to give this my undivided attention, then I will raise my profile a lot more. But until then, it's just something that I do. It's a hobby, like you said. It's not my life. I'm not getting paid off of this. Like if this podcast only gets 200 listeners, I'm not gonna starve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it's almost 2 hours. I didn't care to look at how long it was running until I did right now. So I want to definitely have you back again eventually later on.
Sounds good.
Huh?
I said sounds good.
Yeah, you're always one of my favorite guests to have because you actually have a back and forth with me. A lot of people get stumped, like, they lose their Instagram swag once you actually have a regular conversation with them. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they just get stumped. They're like, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a podcast on my own because they don't know what the fuck they're doing or they're saying or whatever. But thank you for being my guest. I will harass you and keep calling you a tranny on Instagram.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna still develop more conspiracy theories. I'm gonna post a picture and just like have an arrow pointing at your crotch and be like, see the bulge? She's a man.
She's a man.
Yeah, I had someone send me a DM and going, oh, seriously? She's a dude? I'm like, oh, hell yeah, man. Like, I personally know her, man. That's all. I'm like, I personally know her, but a lot of people don't know. Like, they did a really good job. Like, they shaved their Adam's apple down and everything. Like, oh, man, too bad, man. She's really hot, but, I'm not into dudes. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, I know she had me fooled too, but it's cool, man. It's cool. I'm like, why do you think she bench presses so much? It's hilarious. I have fun with these guys. I like trolling them. But yeah.
That's funny.
Well, thank you, and I will be in touch with you again.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Life As It Happens. I love you guys. Remember to follow me on Instagram on the_wolf_of_Los Angeles. And remember, whether you're having the worst day of your life or the best day of your life, don't take it personal because things happen, and this is Life As It Happens. 1.